Hello and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to come in here and do a pick a card reading for some predictions for the month of June for you. Obviously we have 4 different decks for you to choose from, so pick the one that your intuition is screaming at you. If there's more than one, then feel free to watch the other ones as well. But this is going to be pile number 1. This one's going to be pile number 2, this one's going to be pile number 3, and this one's going to be pile number 4. So take a few minutes, a few seconds, however long you need to figure out which one of these decks is really calling for you, and then I will see you on the other side. So if you chose pile number 1, this is going to be your reading. I'm just using a tarot deck. I'm not using any oracle decks today because I wanted to keep it simple. But we're going to go ahead and pull out a few cards. Get your energy for this month and like what is coming up for you. Okay, we are starting with strength. So I feel like in the month of June, you are going to be asked to be able to watch your words and make sure that you are attracting people with honey and not vinegar. This is definitely going to be a month that's going to challenge you to be your most empathetic self as well as your most caring self. Especially when it comes to you speaking to other people, and really getting the sense of like watch your words, watch what you say kind of thing, because you know, in this picture you see she is taming the wild wolf. That's going to be kind of you, taming the wild wolf of some sort, and like being able to use your words to really deal with someone who may not necessarily be the nicest person, but the way that you speak to them is really going to kind of help you. Okay, we also have the Ace of Coins here. So this is like new business opportunities, new jobs, new money opportunities showing up for you. I'm definitely seeing that the month of June is going to be particularly profitable for you as far as money wise, which I think that is really, really awesome. Getting a lot of blessings, maybe because you are meeting the right people and talking to the right people and really just like showing your very best self. Okay, we also have the Ten of Swords in reverse, and this is usually, like the way I see this is like avoiding a painful ending. It's like something that you do in the month of June is really going to show and help you avoid a painful ending. Like maybe you had an intuitive feeling about someone and you decided that you were just going to leave them alone, and now you've avoided a painful ending. Or maybe you got back to your ex wants to get back together with you and you're like, I don't know, I have a weird feeling about this, and you see them get back together with someone else and it goes horribly. This is very much you viewing from the sidelines what kind of painful ending you could have had if you would have did something differently. So very much avoiding a painful and crappy ending. What else is showing up for you for pile number 1? And then we also have the Seven of Wands in reverse. So you might be feeling a little bit defensive and like you need to defend yourself, and probably to an extent you have to, because as you are getting all of this success and getting all these really good things in your life, it's also going to come with maybe not so good things in your life, and so within your success you might have a lot of people who take that as a slight against them. And this is like a reminder for Spirit that just because someone is activating you doesn't mean you have to act on that trigger. Just because someone is coming at you doesn't mean you have to give them your time, energy, and attention. And sometimes it's just a lot better if you don't give them all that time, energy, and attention. Sometimes it's just better if you just kind of deal with yourself and be like, you know what, you're kind of a hater, but that doesn't have to mean anything for me. I'm going to go off and do what I need to do. And I'm going to pull another card, and then we're going to pull from the dice and see if I get any more extra details. Okay, and then we have, we have the Six of Cups, which is about children and nostalgia and just like a general energy of just like, it's kind of like a reconciliation card. So you might, in one hand, you might be not reconciling with someone or cutting somebody out of your life to avoid a painful ending, while letting somebody else into your life who's in a much healthier place. This is also the card of children, so children might be really important this month, or something having to do with children, or if you are looking to conceive, this might be a good conception month of some sort. And just like, just generally the energy of like nostalgia and spending time with your friends and spending time with your family and just like having that really, really nice ooey gooey feeling of just like feeling good in general. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and roll the dice to see if there's any more details showing up here for you. Ooh, you have Venus in the first house with Taurus. You're gonna be really feeling yourself in the month of June. I feel like pile number one, you're gonna feel like you look your best self. Your finances is gonna be the best. This is gonna be a great month for you. You're going to feel like $1,000,000 in a lot of different ways, financially and just like physically looking better. Like I really feel like you're going to be taking care of yourself more, really paying attention to the way you dress, the way you look, the way you smell, really kind of glamorizing yourself. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to wear a bunch of makeup or anything like that, but really just doing stuff that makes you feel good. And just a lot of self-care. It's like you get a little bit of extra money and now you're going to be self-caring and really spending time just feeling good about yourself. Like I'm really like this. Also, I feel like there might be like love coming into your life with the Venus die, so that to me is very much like you might be reconciling with someone who like you knew from the past where it didn't necessarily work out, but now it's kind of working out for the better. So overall, honestly, pile number one, I think your June is going to be pretty nice. So yeah, remember to be kind to yourself and remember to be kind to others, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, this video is for you if you picked pile number 2. This is going to be your reading for predictions about what's going to happen in the month of June. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what are some of the themes. Okay, we have the Seven of Pentacles. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like right off the bat, June is just gonna feel really slow for you. June is gonna feel kind of like a dead month. Maybe it's like you're working on stuff that you've already been working on, not necessarily seeing any results, but it's very much the in progress. If you were a computer, June would be the month that you were loading something, you know, or downloading something. It's just that in-between period of time where there's really not a lot going on. Like I feel like this is just going to be a month where there isn't a ton going on for you. Let's see what else comes up for you. Pile number 2. Group number 2. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. So this could talk about someone in your life showing up as a very passionate and attractive person. It could be also talking about you showing up as a very confident and attractive person. The Queen of Wands follows her dreams. The Queen of Wands is a little bit quick to anger, but generally she's not wrong and she just doesn't want to put up with people's BS. I feel like you are going to be tirelessly working for something and you're not really going to be dealing with a lot of BS from other people. I don't think you want to deal with other people's BS. You're just kind of like, I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, I have things to do, I have places to go, you know. And I'm really getting that kind of energy from this in the month of June. We also have the Sun in reverse, so I feel like one of the challenges of June is going to be learning how to take time for happiness, for joy, for fun, for childlike wonder. I feel like you are the kind of person who's been through so much over the last few years that you really are having such a hard time being truly joyful and having that childlike joy. And with the Sun in reverse, it's very much like you're not necessarily, you don't have that childlike wonder as much, and it might be time for you to kind of like work on that. Work on doing the things that make you happy, work on doing the things that bring you joy and bring more joy into your life, because if you just leave it to the world to try to make you happy, you are going to only find negativity. if you leave it to just watching the news or seeing what's happening to the world, it's going to be very rare that you find joy. And I know it's so hard to find joy in the kind of world that we have right now with everything that's going on, but it's also really important that you take those joyful moments, because if you don't, you're never going to get them. They're not going to spontaneously show up. You need to look for them, and you need to change the way you view the world so that you can find them, even in the dark places and things of that. I just feel like you've been going through a very dark time, pile number 2. I feel like it's been really tough for you over these last few years, and you've been tirelessly working. And you know, this is also, the Queen of Wands is also the card of like the witch and someone who really practices in any kind of craft and things. And so I feel like you've been on your spiritual journey, and you've been really like working so hard on yourself, doing that shadow work, unearthing all of those really intense things. And at the same time, it's like it's just not as joyful as it used to be. And you can work on yourself for the rest of eternity, but it's not going to really matter if you're not finding little pieces of joy in between, okay? I would like to pull out some advice cards just to see like what would be really good and healing for you to do right now, because I'm really like feeling you're kind of having a tough time. Pile number 2. You have the 6 of Swords. This is cutting out anything that's not needed. This is cutting out anything that is 100% not needed, not wanted, not bringing you joy, walking away from things, taking a trip somewhere, going. You see what he's doing in this? He is on a boat and he's leaving, okay? Like, you might need to take a trip or take some time to be by yourself, and specifically leave behind things that don't work for you. And I know that there are certain things in your life that are kind of like a staple that you want to keep because they feel comfortable, but you have chosen this spiritual journey, and honestly, being comfortable is just not going to work for you. So that's kind of something that I'm kind of feeling for you. You just gotta walk away from stuff that doesn't work. And and the blessing in that is the Empress, abundance, being able to get the things that you really want out of life. This is also like a fertility card if you're trying to conceive, and it's also a card of the divine feminine and being in your feminine energy. So that's the reward for doing that. We're gonna pull some dice to get a little bit more details about this reading. We have a Neptune in the first house and Libra. So this is like, I feel like you guys have been really desiring partnership, but you've been lied to and deceived a lot in a lot of different ways. So this is just kind of a reminder that just because you were deceived in the past doesn't necessarily mean that the past is doomed to repeat itself. You've done so much work on yourself. You are going to find that relationship. It's coming, and you don't have to worry about someone lying to you again, because you already know the signs and you've been through it. Okay? That's what I have for you. Group number 2, let me know if it resonated, and remember to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others, okay? Okay, group number 3, let's see what the month of June is going to be looking like for you. Okay, we're starting out with some general energy here. The Emperor. Okay, so building foundations, being the master of your craft, the master of your world, the master of your life. This is a really good sign. Also very like divine masculine side. This is about you getting things done, you going out and asserting yourself, and really like kind of molding the world to your will. It's very much a willpower card, and I love this for you. Let's see what else is coming up for the month of June. Okay, we have the Devil. So there's kind of a bit of a warning message in this reading. Be careful that in your pursuit of trying to basically gain money, power, notoriety, whatever you're trying to gain, that you are not also sacrificing yourself, your morals, or getting tied down to things that really don't serve you. The Devil is about temptation. It's about having strings attached. It's about just generally being in a situation where like you're getting something that you want, but at the same time it's like you might have had to do it in a way that just really doesn't reflect your ethics and morals. So just be careful with that. If something looks suspicious, then it probably is. This is also about being tempted. So you might be tempted to do something kind of silly. And if you are dealing with a divine masculine, this could be you being tempted by an emperor type figure. But like really they're kind of the devil in disguise. So that's also a possibility too. So just be kind of careful with that. All right, what else do we have? Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. The Nine of Swords is usually about feeling like completely just anxiety ridden, you know, like waking up with night sweats because you've been dreaming of like a horrible thing. But in reverse, it's very much about like kind of having clarity over that anxiety. So I also feel like, you know, you have been tempted in the past, and you probably will be tempted, but you're a lot clearer about your own mind, and you can't be fooled the way that you used to. You can't be fooled in that way. So I actually think the Nine of Swords in reverse is a really good thing. It's very much an energy of clarity, the energy of waking up from a bad nightmare and just realizing that it's a nightmare and it's not real. Like, yes, you are being tempted to do things that are a little bit out of character, but you also have the clarity to mind to really see that it doesn't make any sense or that it's a bad thing and things of that sort. So that's also a good thing. Okay, I'm gonna go pull out for some advice for group number 3, for people who picked pile number 3. We have the Three of Wands. So this is the energy of basically manifesting your dreams. That's the keyword for here, but it's also about moving forward in life. So like I said, you really are in that masculine energy in the month of June where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go do this thing. Nobody can stop me. Like, I'm out here. We are crushing these goals, and really going forward with your life. This is going to be a busy month for you. I'm not going to lie. I feel like you're going to be very busy. I feel like you're going to be doing a lot of things, a lot of projects, especially if it has to do with your creativity and building a foundation for yourself. It could be moving into a new home or like, you know, searching for homes, because I know the housing market is just like absolutely crazy right now. And just like really going out of your way to tackle your goals in an almost ruthless, intense kind of way. Like, I kind of feel like by the time June is done, you're going to be a little bit tired. I'm not going to lie. You're going to need some rest after all of the action and all of the things that you're going to be doing, because you're going to be a busy bee. Very busy. Okay. Let's pull out one more card to round off your month of June. But anything else that you need to know for group number 3? Okay, we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So again, there's a kind of a warning energy with this reading, and there has been ever since the Devil card came out. You know, the Six of Swords in reverse is often about needing to leave certain things behind but choosing not to, because you feel like it's going to make you unstable, or there's going to be an unstable situation where you're very fearful that, you know, if you leave these things behind, something bad is going to happen. And for that, I would say that most likely group number 3, when we're fearful of leaving a particular person or thing behind, it often is like the very thing that we need to be able to move forward in that positive like light. And if it wasn't scary, it probably wouldn't be worth doing. Anything that you do in life that has an actually an interesting result or could be good for you kind of usually feels a little bit scary, and it activates your nervous system. And that happens with bad things as well, but part of learning and growing is knowing when it's your intuition telling you you should go forward, and knowing when it is essentially, you know, really something to be afraid of. And I feel like you're going to be really getting to know the difference between those in the month of June. So I'm going to roll my dice to get some extra information about this month. We have Neptune and Gemini. Okay, so I also feel like you might be in the spirituality business as well. With Neptune in the 11th house, that's very much like spirituality and dealing with like communities and friends. So being around, getting information from your community and communicating with your community around spiritual matters, your friends might be really helping you with these intuitive choices that you might have coming up. And generally it's just like kind of a good thing. The 11th house is always a good thing, and Neptune can sometimes have a lot of illusions to it, so you really want to make sure that you're watching being addicted to anything or just being tempted by things that look amazing but they're really not. But overall, I think that June is going to be a month where you work extremely hard but get really amazing rewards because of it. Alright, that's your reading. So I do hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know if it resonated for you, and remember to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others. Okay, group number 4. If you picked group number 4, this is going to be your reading. Let's see what the month of June has for you. Okay, we are scattered. We are scatterbrained here a little bit. So this is interesting. So the first thing we have is the 7 of Cups. This is the cup of illusions, having your heads in the cloud a little bit, kind of hoping and wanting something to happen, but it not necessarily being the most realistic. So just be careful with anything that doesn't look too good to be true. And you might need a lot of grounding energy in the month of June, because otherwise you might put some pretty high expectations about yourself that just really don't make sense for the situation at hand. What else do we have here? We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is all about business opportunity, new opportunities, financial opportunities. So on the bright side, I think you're going to be kind of questioning whether or not you should do a new financial opportunity, and just make sure it's not too good to be true. Like, scammers are kind of anywhere, and I just feel like for group number 4, like, I'm really getting a clear message to beware of scammers. Beware of people who come in with some kind of pyramid scheme or some kind of thing financially that looks just like way too good to be true. And you know, just kind of watch that, because I can see that being a kind of a negative thing. If you believe people and everything that they're saying at face value. Okay, we have the Sun, which is a really beautiful card. This card is all about happiness and joy. So as much as I think that you are going to be faced with a lot of decisions and faced with a lot of situations that feel a little bit weird or deceptive, I also think that the month of June is going to be a very happy month for you. I feel like that's kind of probably why you might get, like, you might be in a situation where you might believe someone even though they're not necessarily being the most honest, is because I think this month is going to be very joyful for you, very childlike for you, very fun, and like just genuinely a really fun and good time. So overall, I think that this is going to be a time for you to just have that childlike joy, enjoy your life, enjoy being around people, enjoy, you know, feeling good and doing the things that you really, really love, and having that childlike kind of joy. I'm going to go and pull for some advice for how you should handle the month of June. Everything. Okay, this one really wanted to come out, so we're gonna just take it. Okay, we have the 6 of Cups, which is about nostalgia. It's also about, you know, reconciliation a lot of the time, and dealing with children. I feel like dealing with children is going to come up for you. You might be having childlike joy because you're dealing with children, and like you are spending more time with your family and friends and people who really just bring you joy. But this is also a reconciliation card, so that might be coming up as well. And just like allow yourself to be nostalgic and have a lot of fun and do that stuff that you loved when you were a child. Okay, and then we have the Hanged Man. So overall, I don't think that this is going to be an incredibly productive month for you. I don't think you're going to be getting anything particularly done, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like June is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be about being around your friends and family. It's going to be around finding new opportunities, but not necessarily acting on them. And it's a little bit stagnant. It's a little bit of a stagnant energy, a little bit of an interlude in your life. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just means that this, you know, the priorities of this particular month are not going to be these huge, intense, big projects or anything like that. It's really more going to be about like kind of just seeing all the opportunities in the world and not necessarily knowing which ones you want to follow, but just knowing that there are just all these different things you can do and being really discerning about which opportunities you want to take, because some of them can quite literally just be kind of crappy, while also being around your friends and family and having a really fun, nostalgic time. So that's super cute. I'm going to go ahead and roll my dice to get a couple more details in this reading. Okay. Gemini has been coming up a lot in general. We have Pluto in the second house. So again, I'm going to say, please beware for scammers. Please beware for people who are trying to do money opportunities that just seem too good to be true. Pluto is the planet of, you know, I honestly call it the trauma planet, because I feel like every time I see Pluto in a chart, it has something to do with some kind of trauma. That is just me. But it also is about unearthing things that are considered taboo and tend to be like in the dark. And with the second house, that has to do with like finances. So I feel like if you have been dealing with some weird, sketchy things when it comes to money, it's very much going to be unearthed in June. And any mistake that you made around money decisions, you are definitely going to know about it. It's going to be communicated to you very plainly and very, very, very loudly. So I don't think you'll be confused about that at all. So overall, have fun, but just proceed with caution about anything that looks too good to be true. Okay, that is the reading that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if it resonated, and remember to be kind to yourself and to others, and I will see you guys in the next video.